I'm delighted to welcome Akhil Unial, who heads up our next-gen partner incubation and innovation in our global innovation headquarters for NTT DATA Group. Akhil, welcome to the
Thank you so much,
podcast.
Megan. Thank you for having me here. Thank you.
Working with our partners and helping to build assets with our partners for enterprises, help us understand your role and the importance of this for NTT DATA Group.
Sure. Happy to. So let me give you some background about global innovation. We are a team of professionals all over the world, and the charter of our organization is to harness all the innovation capabilities across the globe, across all the regions under one umbrella. And we do that by investing in some of these technology teams. We invest in different innovation programs across the globe. In addition to that, we also engage with the clients to provide those solutions to the clients so that they can achieve the business outcomes. Under the Global Innovation Program, I run the Next Generation Partnerships and Incubation, which is a program that supports all the next-gen partners that include startups, any disruptive technology partners that we should engage with, in addition to our strategic alliances, which are the hyperscalers and others. We very much embrace those kind of partnerships because we want to be at the cutting edge of innovation, right? So these partners bring the technology know-how, they bring the maturity of some of these technology solutions, so that we can implement at our client sites and achieve the business outcomes.
Help us understand the trends that you're seeing as a sort of global understanding of what's driving your programs.
Yeah, no, that's a great question. So I'm sure you've been hearing a lot about agentic AI and the Gen AI. That's been top of mind for everyone. We, in addition to those technology trends, we are investing a lot in blockchain, digital twin, digital human, quantum computing, informatics, satellite and data. So these are different technology themes. We are investing and experimenting with our customers, right? We want to make sure that in addition to the Gen AI program that we are already deploying with some of our customers, we experiment some of these emerging technologies so that they can benefit from these technologies as they move forward in their respective business organizations.
Understood. So there's these areas of emerging technologies, like digital twin, or even eventually quantum or high performance computing, as we move towards quantum, where you want to work with our partners. So help me understand, what are the selection criteria? How do you think about this? Or, you know, there must be tens of thousands you could work with.
That's right, that's right. So what we did was, Megan, we created an innovation process when we started this group. And we said, let's identify the partners that have these MVPs built. So we don't really look at early stage companies. So we have our NTT VC, which is a venture capital arm, and Docomo Ventures. They invest in early stage companies, right? But they give us a lot of good feedback in terms of what are these technology startups working on and what is the future of some of these companies and the technologies. Our selection criteria is, if these solutions at least have an MVP, have they implemented the solution somewhere in a client? Because we want to really take the solution and do a POC with our clients. So we don't want to kind of really go with the client, and if that solution is not credible enough or it's in early stage, we don't want to waste our clients' time, right? So we want to kind of really, as you rightly said, we have access to 100,000 plus startups globally and partners,
of course,
right? So we want to make sure that they have the scale and they have the bandwidth, and at least they have a strategy in terms of how do we go to market with NTT Data. So we are very selective in that sense. Now, in some areas where the technology is a little bit mature, we actually take the partners and we work with our global practices and our BUs to identify the use cases that they can implement those solutions, right? And then how do we work together to take them to scale them globally with us, right? One of the other things we look at is, what are the services gaps we have in our portfolio, right? So we don't want to kind of really just pick a next-gen partner and work with them. We want to make sure there is a gap or there is a need for a new offering in our portfolio that is going to be addressed by this next-gen partner, right? Because once we do that, then it allows us to jointly go to market and scale their solution. It works well for them, and it works well for us as well.
Looking at customers, are there some stories that you're excited to share?
Yeah, absolutely. So we are doing a lot of work with manufacturing, financial services, CPG. One interesting case we are currently working on with a large CPG firm in North America is they spend billions of dollars on trade and promotion activities. It's a CPG company, right? So they do a lot of promotions activity, and they don't have visibility into where the dollars are spent in terms of promotions and marketing campaigns. So we are basically building an agentic AI solution that would allow the executives to kind of really get the predictive analytics as well as some complex analytics data from the systems that they have access to, so that it's kind of really easily accessible for them so that they can make the right decisions very quickly. So that's one example. The second is we are working with a consortium of insurance companies. We have some large clients. And we said, let's work together with them, identify the use cases that best benefit all of them. So it allows us to kind of really get the data models and the data sets from each of those companies that are our clients, and then work collectively with them to build this data model so that we can predict and we can do some, through this agentic AI process, allows them to do processing of the claims and other activities as part of the insurance value chain.
With all this buzz about generative AI, Akhil, help us understand how your team is incubating and thinking about these tools that are available. There's so many.
So Megan, it's a great question. We struggle with that every day. We are exposed to so many startups and partners all over the place. And again, we being one of the top 5 IT services integrator, there are a lot of startups and partners want to work with us. Our approach is we also want them as much as they want to work with us, because I think the true partnership is where we work with them and embrace their solution and technology into our integrated offering and then take it to market, right? So our incubation program, we help them do a couple of client POCs with our clients so that they can validate and test their solutions so that we know that they're primed for commercialization, right? So it allows us to get some really good feedback from our clients, but also allows us to mature the solution, integrate that into our service offerings, and then take it to market. So that's kind of really how our go-to-market approach works with them. And in the process, this year we did almost 25 POCs with different customers and different partners. And now we are at a stage that we want to kind of really take them to the next stage of commercialization. So working with all the regions to make sure that these solutions are integrated and take to market.
What would be the impact to, for example, the workplace? I understand that's an area you see a lot of transformation is going to happen.
Yeah, no, that's, we are seeing with the whole agentic AI coming into play, smart agents, right, coming into the robotics. I mean, I think if you read the press, I feel that, we went from natural language processing to Gen AI, transformers, and now we're into smart agents. I think the next is robotics and humanotics, right? I think that is an area that is going to really explode very fast in the next few years. But we need to kind of really make sure that our workplace and we have the right governance and KPIs in place to manage the machines and the humans, right? As we deploy more smart agents, as we are augmenting our capability, I think there is a notion in the market that Gen AI is going to replace workers, which is not true. I think it enhances the capability of humans so that they can do the jobs better, right? So I think we need to kind of really make sure that messaging is clear in terms of how we are using the human, the smart agents in our enterprises. But I think that is a future I see, which will be very productive in nature for a lot of our clients and for ourselves as well.
There's just so much concern about compliance. Mm-hmm. And we've been hearing that throughout this program, this AI forum, that it's a big inhibitor to adoption. How's your team thinking about that?
Yeah, so we're working with a couple of partners on the compliance side. In fact, I was talking to the CEO of one of the, the partners we are using, and some of the data is just very mind-blowing to me personally, that we're talking about currently the bank, one of the largest banks in North America. They have thousands of lawyers inside to review the documents around legal compliance. But the stats was what he was talking about is only 4% of the data is reviewed by those lawyers. So the 96% of the data is not even reviewed.
Wow.
So using the AI tools that the smart agents that these companies are building is really drive a lot of efficiency into not only getting more data accurately or review the data accurately, but allow them to be more efficient. So they can review the data, they can understand what are the compliance issues, and allow them to fix it, right? So you really need humans to review some of that, but the process of reviewing that data becomes so fast and identifying the gaps and the non-compliance issues will be very fast in that process, right? So we're not replacing lawyers per se, but we are improving the process significantly.
Yes,
exactly.
That's an excellent example of transforming the workplace.
Right. Exactly.
When you think of compliance, you also think about security and different tools that help protect organizations from their worries. What are you seeing in that area?
Yeah, so they were talking about recently, there were 50 CISOs met in New York to talk about, and so one of the biggest concerns were some of the tools that they are existing out there. There is a concern about data loss from enterprises. That's the reason a lot of companies are very concerned about using some of these Gen AI tools, because there is a propensity for data loss from enterprises, right? They are not mature enough. There is also not enough controls in place to manage that data governance side. So that's the reason the security becomes so important. And I think some of the companies are kind of really focusing on a particular stack, whether it's Microsoft or others, so that they can play in that architecture versus opening it across many architectures. I think there'll be a little bit more openness to experiment, but I think
if there's a mode.
There's a right. So I think that's what we are seeing.
Well, thank you, Akhil, for coming in.
My pleasure, Megan. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.